welcome to Shooby Dooby Doo-Up, a podcast where we talk about pop music, specifically by deep diving a randomly chosen UK top 10 singles chart from the past. A dreamy melody brings back a memory when we were kids on the corner of the street. I reminisce and I feel desire and I shout it from the highest hills. I'm James Cook.
I'm Andy Robinson.
And I can't think of anything better.
Which randomly chose, and I'm going to extra specify the random nature of this, James, which randomly chosen UK top 10 chart from the past are we looking at this week?
We are going to the 21st of June, 1954.
Whoa, a long time back.
Yes, less than 2 years after the start of the UK charts.
Yeah.
The nature of the randomness of it.
We can't do anything about it. We are thrown about, aren't we? Like fatalistic little bits of feathers on the wind of change.
We're both like Sam Beckett from Quantum Leap. We don't know where we're heading. All we know is that maybe one of these leaps will be the leap home.
Or we're like the bloke from Whitesnake. We don't know where we're going, but we sure know where we've been.
Or we're like Marty McFly in that we've ended up in the mid-50s.
And I am trying to nub my mum. Other records in the top 12 at this point, such as The Kid's Last Fight by Frankie Lane and Wanted by Al Martino, we'll be discussing both of them in our Patreon bonus tracks.
Yeah, this is the thing. Usually we look at half a dozen songs from outside the top 10 for the Patreon, but there were only 12 songs in the chart at this point, so there's only going to be 2.
It doesn't matter. So I'm going to work extra hard on our Patreon this week, James, to give our usual high-quality content.
Yeah, remember you can join. It costs less than £1 a week to become a Patreon backer.
What were you doing around the 21st of June 1954?
Well, I wasn't around, Andy.
Nor me. I like a chart when we're both not alive because it makes me less nostalgic.
In fact, my mom was only 4 months old when this chart came out.
Well, if we are time travelling, I'm not going to go back and try and rob your mum.
That's all going to get cut.
That's all right, what you're on about. But make that's a comment on Hollywood, isn't it? And the difficult casting decisions. All right then, in the news around the 21st of June 1954, get this, James. Pope Pius XII had just had a message broadcast on a Eurovision network, so Britain, Belgium, France, West Germany, Italy, Netherlands and Switzerland were involved. That would show that it's changing times, in technology at least. That's important for pop music. Would you believe that meat had stopped being rationed in Britain this week? So it seems weird, doesn't it? It's the end of rationing, only 1954 though. And Donald Gill, the artist of Seaside Postcards, was found guilty of breaching the Obscene Publications Act.
With his dirty postcards?
I imagine I didn't look properly into it, but I did look into pop music news more satisfyingly. And the Record Mirror, the first weekly national publication for a music magazine, let's say, that was just being published. It's a good Record Mirror because they talk about the charts in it so often, James, didn't they? They always used to point out what the top 10 was.
Or top 12.
Who was the cover star for the Record Mirror on the very first episode?
What, in 1954?
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra.
No. Have 2 more guesses, then we'll move on.
Frank Ifield.
No.
Sorry, not Frank. Frankie Lane?
No, no one called Frank. It was Winifred Atwell. Maybe most significantly in music news this week, Elvis had just recorded his second demo version and he was just about to go in and record That's All Right Mama, changing the face of pop music forever. So a fertile time, not necessarily in this chart.
Well, in January of 1954, the first documented use of the term rock and roll, so not rock and roll, rock and roll, was used to promote a gig in New York City. 2 months before this chart, the Fender Stratocaster was first produced in California. 1 month before this chart, Rock Around the Clock was first released as a B-side to the song 13 Women and Only One Man, but it wouldn't be a hit until the following year. And 4 days before this chart, the guitarist on Rock Around the Clock, Danny Cedrone, fell down some stairs and died. So you've got the start of rock and roll, the first big rock and roll mega hit, and then the first rock and roll death, all happening earlier in 1954.
Yes, well, in this top 10 we are going to be talking about, no spoilers, it's not a rock and roll chart, but you get a little sense, don't you? You get a little sense of, let's call it the country and western element, especially, I'm going to say, that's part of rock and roll.
I've got some stats about this chart.
I love your mid-50s stats.
This chart contains 3 UK number 1 singles. There's 1 song going up, 3 going down, 5 non-movers, and a new entry for a total net movement of +2. There are 4 British artists, 5 Americans and 1 German. There's 6 solo artists, 2 groups, 1 collab and a choir, 3 cover versions, and the average age is hard to work out for reasons that will become apparent.
Great mid-50s facts by my reckoning. There are 5 songs about the complexities of love, 1 song about an Italian girl, 1 song about a vocalist, 1 song about dancing, 1 song about a cheerful peripatetic, and 1 song of real community. Predictably, there are no self-references, but there are 4 key changes this week, so I'm happy. As always, you can listen to all of these songs in our Spotify and YouTube playlists, which are attached. We always like to give you a nudge towards those songs either before, during or after this podcast, because not only do they make more sense what me and James are mid-50s reminiscing about, I'm going to say a good top 10 this week, isn't it? And it's short.
Come on now, let's everybody sing.
Number 10.
Down 1 to number 10, it's Changing Partners by K-Star.
Changing Partners, it's a waltz, isn't it? Let's try and describe it. You can, as we mention all the time, nip over to Spotify or watch the video on YouTube if you want to watch a video of a spinning record.
Yeah, they're not really music videos at this point in 1954, funnily enough. Now, Changing Partners in 2026 would have a different meaning, I would say, than in 1954.
Go on.
Well, in 1954, it was all to do with, as you say, waltzing, ballroom dancing, which was how young people met other young people.
So what you're saying, that this song had a different meaning? I mean, it's got that meaning in, isn't it? The changing the partner, the routine of the dance floor, let's call it, or the protocol.
Yeah, so there would be dances where people changed who they were dancing with during it. Usually when some kind of master of ceremonies would say, change partners. And this song is all about a woman who is taking part in one of those dances, and there's one particular person she wants to dance with more than the others, and she can't wait until they change partners and come back together again.
A simple concept for a simple song, but nonetheless a very pretty and beautiful song, James.
It is, written by Larry Coleman and Joe Darian. Joe Darian wrote the lyrics for a song that has been covered by Frank Sinatra, Elvis Presley, John Cleese and the Muppets, and Jason Manford.
What, this song?
No, another song he wrote the lyrics for. It's from the musical Man of La Mancha.
Is it If I Can Dream the Impossible Dream?
Million pop points to you, mate.
I'm going to only claim 500,000 pop points because you gave me a lot of clues.
The first version of it was by Patti Page, so this is a cover. There were also versions by Dinah Shore and Bing Crosby, and as well as this one, recorded within 8 weeks of the first version come out, because that's what they used to do.
That's what they used to do, as MWEB says in the comments on YouTube for this song. I cannot decide whether I like Kay or Patty best. It's like trying to decide whether I prefer filet mignon or prime rib. And then, very satisfyingly, underneath that comment, someone pops up to go, what's a mignon?
It's one of those little yellow fellas, isn't it, from the cartoons?
That's right. I'm going to dress up in a suit and go and watch that. Did you see that? All the lads are dressing up in black tie and white shirt to go and watch the Minions.
Yeah.
Causing trouble.
Yeah.
I don't know how you cause trouble by just hanging around the cinema.
I think they were also misbehaving.
Yeah.
It's disconcerting as well. I mean, in the old days, that's what young gentlemen would wear to go out to one of these balls, wouldn't they? To meet a lady with their ballroom dancing. This is the most successful version in the UK. Bing's version gets to number 9. The others don't chart, but as the chart only goes up to number 12, Andy, who knows?
Who knows?
We've got no way of knowing.
Let's describe it briefly. It's like, as you would believe, it's a great idea, isn't it? If you're singing about a waltz, what sort of time are you going to put the song in?
Oh, really fast. A jungle beat.
Yeah, so she's going... We will walk together to a dreamy melody.
Not really.
All the songs this week, James, I'm going to say all of them actually, have what I believe to be a gentle country and western atmosphere to them. A lot of them are very simple. A lot of them are 3 or 4 chorders. And despite the orchestration, the sophistication, the meditation around all these songs, they're pretty simple country songs. This would be one of them. Sounds a little bit like Tennessee Waltz, if you know that song, who, again, loads of people did. That's not a criticism. I loved it this week.
So this song, and a lot of the songs actually in this top 10, made me think about my grandparents.
Oh, yeah.
My nan and granddad met at the Tower Ballroom on Edgbaston Reservoir in Birmingham. You ever been there?
I have, yeah.
It's not there anymore.
It was a great venue, wasn't it? Everybody in Birmingham seemed to have seen the Smiths there.
Yeah, it was a venue for a long time. So this is back in the late 40s, early 50s. They will have gone there and they will have met at a dance, maybe to a song like Changing Partners. So I've sort of had them in my mind while I've been listening to the music this week. We've spoken of K-Star before. She's not anything to do with K-Tel or Telstar.
Nope. Or Freddie's sister.
She used to sing to chickens when she was growing up.
That's correct. I forgot that.
She was kicked off the Bing Crosby tour for
being too good.
Well, that's what we think.
That's what we think. Hey, what a hot take.
Come at us, Crosby.
Imagine if that got in the news, James, that people get cancelled all the time.
Yeah.
We're going to get cancelled for saying Bing Crosby kicked K-Star out. I watched videos of K-Star, not this week because there isn't a video for this song, but James, I've developed a crush.
Yeah.
And then I felt bad, didn't I? We've talked about it in the past. When you watch a Little Mix, we're old men. I can't fancy them, can I? I'm more worried about whether they're looking after themselves and sorted the pension out. And then I thought, this is odd. I had the hots for K-Star. She's in her 30s, I reckon. But then I thought, this is all right, because she's been dead so long. What do you make of that? That you can have a crush on someone from the past who's much younger and everything's all right.
This is like Caterina Valente all over again, isn't it?
I love you, Caterina. And Kay, let's have a threesome. Hey.
Then you'll be changing partners.
That'd be good, wouldn't it? That'd be good.
I don't know who you're talking to when you say that. You're sort of talking to your own head.
I'm just talking to my own head. It's one of the songs with a key change in. Vital. I feel better than I've started that ball rolling.
I think if you're going to do a song called Changing Partners, you have to have a key change.
Predictably, this week, while I've been looking at YouTube comments, it's been good. I like the mid-50s vibe of the YouTube comments. There's not so many fire symbols and people going, whoa, and going, who's here in 2025 listening to this? And you're a legend. It's more considered. However, Surreal Farm this week says, why can't people write and perform music like this anymore instead of rap? Just rap is his problem.
Yeah.
I like the male choir in it. They come in towards the end. I think that's really pretty. K-Star's voice is unique and fantastic, and I'm a big fan of her anyway.
Here's the thing, Andy. When this chart was generated and we had to look at it, we did and ah about not doing it, didn't we?
That's right, James. We had a little look at it for some reason last week, didn't we?
I think because there were only 12 songs, and we thought, well, that's 4 less than we normally do. Shall we knock it on the head?
And then, crucially, James, as you very succinctly put it once upon a time when we were going to bin off a chart and just do another one, what did you say to me?
That's not the game.
It's not the game. And I'm glad we are playing this game this week because I got into this top 10. It's got a mood, it's got a vibe, it's got a spirit, hasn't it? If you're in a particular... What sort of state we have to be to listen to it? Any state, they're just great songs. Well, this is one of them.
I don't know whether it's because we're recording this in December, so a few months ahead of when it's going to go out. And so walking around on a cold winter's day, in my big coat and my hat, listening to this as I walk around, it's just been very evocative of times gone by. I'm feeling nostalgic for times I wasn't alive for.
Absolutely.
It's like time travelling in a way.
Number 9.
It's a new entry at number 9 this week. It is David Whitfield with Cara Mia.
David Whitfield and Mantovani.
Sorry, Mantovani, I forgot to mention your orchestra, which gets a co-credit on this record.
We've spoken of Mantovani before in one of our old-timey chart deep dives that we've done.
That's right. What were the highlights we said about him? What would you say the facts were about Mantovani?
Well, it was his version of White Christmas, and we said it was very stringy. And that was the thing we know about Mantovani, is that he's big on the strings, big on the violins and all of that. It's kind of toned down a bit in this song. It's not as stringy as you would expect from Mantovani.
And we spoke about David Whitfield before, haven't we?
Yeah.
And what did you say about him? You had a similar attitude as you have to Rod Stewart, I'm going to say generally.
No, the song we've done of David Whitfield was before, because he's an operatic singer, and he kind of sings like this, and it did make me laugh the first time.
Made you and your wife laugh. I seem to remember you saying you were in a car and this record came on by David Whitfield, and you both burst out laughing.
But this time I knew it was coming, so I was ready for it.
Okay.
And I didn't find it as funny.
As always, nip over to the attached playlist and listen to it. I'm going to try and describe it briefly. Again, It's a little waltz, I'm going to say, disguised as a waltz, this one. It wasn't immediately obvious to me straight away, but it is. It's got a key change in it, quite a big key change. It goes up 2 tones, James. It's in C, then all of a sudden it's in E, big leap, and then it goes back to C, so there's that happening.
It sounds almost, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the music you'd hear in a church.
Churchy.
Okay. I was going to say churchy. I thought that can't be the word. But all right, fair enough. Spiritual? Do I mean that?
Go on, I don't mind. Yeah, however you take it. Did it make you feel full of the light of the Lord a little bit?
Well, no, not really. But that's more to do with me than the music.
Yeah.
Cara is Italian for my beloved. Because, of course, David Whitfield is from...
somewhere Italian.
Hull.
Ah, blimey, he's bilingual.
Yeah, he continued to live there while he was travelling the world, performing on things like The Ed Sullivan Show and the Royal Command performance in 1954. There's a statue of him in Hull.
That's right, you mentioned that last time. Yeah.
And he was the first British male to have a UK number 1. This song was a massive hit.
In YouTube comments, I learned it was number 1 for 18 weeks.
No.
That's all right. It's YouTube comments, isn't it? They can be wrong sometimes.
Yeah, that's slightly over-egging it. I mean,
go on then. How many eggs has it was number 1 for?
Well, I'll tell you, it sold 1 million in America alone.
It says on YouTube comments, it sold 3.5 million.
All right, fair enough. Whitfield was the first ever British male singer to get a US gold disc.
It said on YouTube that Justin Bieber was the first British male ever to get a gold disc.
Yeah, I wouldn't believe those comments anymore. So it will be at number 1 for 10 weeks when it gets there. It will be the second biggest selling single of the year. It was the first single to do 10 weeks consecutively. Sometimes...
that is me applauding David Whitfield and the Mantovani Orchestra.
Sometimes songs are at 10 weeks, but over more than one stint. So, for example, Bohemian Rhapsody was at number 1 for 9 weeks when it was first number 1, and then I think 5 weeks the second time it was number 1. That's not 10 weeks consecutively.
I understand.
So
I understand the nature of consecutivity.
Right. Well, because I want to talk about those songs. Let's call them the 10-weekers.
Right, do it.
So in 1955, there's another 10-weeker, which I think we've covered, Rosemary by Slim Whitman.
We have covered that.
And when was the next 10-weeker? So from 1955, when was the next 10-weeker?
I'm tempted to say sometime around that era, still 55 or 56, because there weren't many records out as we're scrabbling about with this week. But it could be anything. Give me a clue, give me a clue, give me a clue, and I'll try and earn another 500,000 pop points.
How easy do you want the clue to be?
I want it difficult to start with. You know me. I like it when you are mysterious at the beginning.
It's from a film.
You can always play along, of course, with this. That's what we're saying, aren't we, essentially, James? It's from a film.
Yep.
Well, that's narrowed it down.
Well, you wanted a hard clue.
All right.
I can give you an easier clue.
Not Everything I Do for You by Bryan Adams. That's a film that was number 1 for ages.
Yep, it is that.
Yeah,
so,
I've earned another 500,000 pop points. Woohoo!
So
yes.
So between 1955 and 1991, there wasn't a 10-weeker.
Really? That's surprising, isn't it?
And then there was Whitney with I Will Always Love You, again from a film.
The Bodyguard.
Yeah, in 92.
IMDb rating, who cares?
1992, 1993. Then a year after that, there was Love Is All Around, Wet, 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 1994.
Another movie soundtrack.
So we've had 2 in the mid-50s, then we have 3 in the sort of early 90s, and then nothing until 2016, when it's One Dance by Drake featuring Wizkid and Kyla, is a 10-weeker. Since then, there have been another 8. So we are living now in the era of 10-weekers. In fact...
that goes against, I'm going to say, the grain of popular perception, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
In fact, since 2016... there has been a 10-weeker at number 1 about 21% of the time at time of recording. Before 2016...
21%, you say?
Yeah, just under.
Oh, right.
Before...
why didn't you go for just over 20%?
Because it's closer to 21%, that's why. Don't you know how to do roundings? Before 2016, you had a...
You're such a beautiful nerd sometimes. Go on.
All right, I'm being more specific with this. Before 2016, it was 1.8% of the time. So you're over 10 times more likely now to have a 10-weeker at number 1 than you were before 2016. And even if you include songs that did 9 weeks, that's only 5% before 2016.
My head is exploding with mathematical possibility.
Do you see my point, though? My point is, we tend to think that, in the olden days, songs were number 1 for ages. But it's actually now that happens. more than any other time.
It's strange, isn't it? There's a little perception, James, now and again. They say when Ed Sheeran's got 3 songs in the top 10, people go, that happens these days that one artist dominates the top 10. And you think, no. We've done it in the past, haven't we?
Yeah, and you could argue that the charts now are more similar to the charts in the 50s than at any other time.
And the songs are much shorter because of TikTok, so that would match the length of these songs too. All right, then. That's good pop observations, James. Well done.
Thanks. I had a spreadsheet and everything.
To drag it back onto David Whitfield, Avuncular 300 says, great vocalist unfairly removed from public acclaim by lesser artists like the Beatles.
Wow. So this idea that the Beatles came in and went, no one's allowed to listen to David Whitfield anymore.
I've never heard, while we're discussing stuff about with different perceptions of pop music, I've never heard the Beatles be rubbish before because of David Whitfield.
So this song was written by Tullio Trapani and Lee Lang. Do you know who they are?
Lee Lang.
Not Ilang Ilang, no, Lee Lang. These aren't their real names, because it's the 50s, and we've talked about this before, that no one used their real name.
That's right. Who is it? I don't know those two gentlemen. Would I know them by their real names?
Yep.
Go on.
Tullio Trapani was Mantovani.
Okay.
That was his pseudonym. Lee Langer was the producer Bunny Lewis, who I think we've spoken of before.
That name does ring a bell, yeah.
Well, born Bridges George McGibbon Lewis. He wrote Little Miss Lonely.
Which Brenda Lee we've covered. No, Helen Shapiro.
We've covered that. He produced Well, I Ask You.
By, Eden Kane. We've covered this in the past. Listen to our old episodes. Who'd have thought they'd be so useful at this point?
And Only 16, which is a song we haven't covered, but we have covered the artist.
I bet it wasn't the Sam Cooke while we're in this area. It was Craig Douglas.
It was Craig Douglas.
Singing Milkman.
Yes. Bunny Lewis, talking about the production of this record with David Whitfield, he said he wanted David Whitfield's voice to throb. David Whitfield's voice has a throb to it. Oh. And to encourage him to do that, he'd go down to the studio and goose him. That's how he got it.
That's how he got a throb, by goosing. I learned on YouTube that David Whitfield pops up a fair few times in Kenneth Williams' diaries. So he used to know him, Kenneth Williams. So, I don't know why I've related those two facts to a goosing and appearing in Kenneth Williams' diaries, but nonetheless, that's what's happened.
Yeah, I haven't read Kenneth Williams' diaries, but I get the impression they're all things like, I shot a Carry On film today. God, I hate myself.
Matron. I'm going to hit you thick and fast with 3 facts. Yeah?
Okay.
As Human League would say, he was working in the cement industry when he had his first hits. Yeah?
That much is true.
He used to go and visit orphans for charitable reasons, people said on YouTube comments. Any smart comment for that?
No.
And also, some bloke once met his sister in a clothes shop in Rugby.
How did that come up in conversation?
I don't know.
Is she wearing a badge?
I don't know. I love
Ask me about my brother.
Did you mention Gene Pitney did it?
No.
I Am Now. Joseph Locke did a version of it. Slim Whitman, you did mention that, but probably the most famous version of this song is by Jay and the Americans, and loads of old fellas were on that going, I prefer that one actually. I thought, wait, why don't you go and listen to that instead of coming here rubbishing?
Yeah, that was a huge hit in America as well. Got to number 4 in 1965. Jay and the Americans are still touring.
There's a very strange note hits at the very end. If you're listening to this on YouTube or Spotify, which we hope you are, I'm going to say stick to the end because he does a weird little bit at the end, doesn't he, David? The end of time.
He really goes for it. He must have been really goosed at that point.
And then got taken over in terms of popularity by lesser artists like the Beatles.
We need to keep kids safe online, but some special interests are sending policymakers in the wrong direction, pushing the so-called App Store Accountability Act, demanding government ID from all users just to download an app, replacing parents' judgment with government mandates. It doesn't even stand up in court. A better bipartisan bill, the Parents Over Platforms Act, would put parents in the driver's seat, empowering parents and businesses to keep kids safe without drowning all of us in red tape. Tell Congress to get it done right and put parents over platforms.
Paid for by ACT, the App Association.
Number 8.
It's a non-mover at number 8. It's the gang that sang Heart of My Heart by Max Bygraves. Another cover version.
And a little bit like the Monster Mash we've talked about in the past. This isn't a song, Heart of My Heart. It is about another song, Heart of My Heart, that the gang sang.
Yeah, the singer is reminiscing about hearing a barbershop quartet singing a song called Heart of My Heart, although that song isn't called Heart of My Heart.
I had a little look to see if there was a song called Heart of My Heart. There was one by the Bellamy Brothers, but that was in the future, so I doubt Max Bygraves is singing about that one.
Yeah, particularly as this song was written in 1928 by Ben Ryan, who also wrote the songs Inka Dinka Doo and Mississippi. So the song Heart of My Heart that the singer is referring to is probably the song The Story of the Rose by vaudevillian Andrew Mack from 1899, because that's the first line of the song, Heart of My Heart. And that song was like a standard among barbershop quartets around the turn of the 20th century. And that's probably what Ben Ryan wrote the song about. One of John F. Kennedy's favourite songs, apparently, this. I don't know if this version of it, but...
Again, because of the dubious nature of YouTube, I learned that it was the Kennedy brothers, but especially Teddy used to love it. So.
Okay. What do you call a man wearing 2 raincoats in a churchyard?
Now, you haven't offered any pop points for this, but I consider it a deep question. A man with what?
A man wearing 2 raincoats in a churchyard.
I don't know.
Max Bygraves.
I don't know whether to kiss you or punch you.
Neither's fine. Son of an East End boxer, Walter William Bygraves. Why was he called Max?
Because that was the name he chose for his showbiz life.
Well, he was nicknamed while he was in the RAF after someone else.
Max Miller, Max Wall.
Max Miller, yeah.
Right.
Which is weird because Max Miller's not really called Max Miller. His real name's Thomas Sargent anyway. This is the second of his 7 UK top 10 hits, following his first hit, Cowpuncher's Cantata.
That's a good title.
I loved this song this week. I've really got into it.
Great.
I've enjoyed everything about it. There's a sort of playful cheekiness to the way Max Bygraves sings it. To people of our generation, he's known for, well, he hosted like Family Fortunes, didn't he? And then he was doing all those sing-along-a-Max
He was
albums.
sort of in the 70s at least, I remember. He had a kind of Des O'Connor vibe about him, didn't he? He was an artist, a vocalist who people would mention as a punchline, a bit like James Blunt became for a bit years later and fell in artist of choice. But he was sort of a joke as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he'd sing all the old songs and all the old dears would love it.
Yeah.
So you come to this with a little bit of baggage if you're our age, but he's great here.
Yes, Alan Fox 7312 on YouTube, and he's posted this quite a few times, so he's keen on this concept. He says, Max Bygraves had a box set you could only get from mail service. You can only get them in charity shops now, can't give them away. So this idea of these 78s, they're not singles people buying at this time. Max Bygraves kind of a relic, but it lives on in a certain generation's imagination, I'm going to say.
Yeah, go to any charity shop, you'll find a sing-along-a-Max album. He sold millions of those in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Made an absolute fortune from them.
I like you digging this song, James. I think it's pretty good myself. I think it's interesting. I like the lyrical concept. Go on, explain that more.
Yeah, he's singing about how, God, I love that melody. It was such a great song when I heard those barbershop guys singing it. And then a barbershop quartet come in and start singing it. And Max does like a commentary of how much he's enjoying them singing it while they're doing it. I wrote down some of his comments that he makes.
Oh, yes. He throws out a few exclamations, doesn't he, that are unexpected.
It's my favourite. I can't think of anything better. Keep it humble, boys.
That's right, keep it humble. Foreshadowing Kendrick Lamar.
Not too much soap in the ears, boy. So, because obviously it's a barbershop quartet, so you've got to imagine he's having a shave, maybe, and they've got soap in his ears.
And he's imagining that he's singing along with them a little bit, isn't he?
Yeah. I just want to sing this bit solo. Solo, you won't hear me. It's just a great joke. Oh, it's so much fun.
So the concept of Max Bygraves singing a song that he sings along with, fairly unique, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not like anything else in this chart.
What about if Max had sung this these days? Me and 2 ladies, well, we never would go wrong. Me and 2 ladies used to have a sing-along. Big distant demeanor and I'm a bottom feeder. Me and 2 ladies singing a wet-ass pussy song. Could do that, couldn't he? Me and 3 fellas used to sing in a chip shop. Ask a baby for some gravy in a polystyrene cup. Hey, 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 hey. Me and three fellas singing Smack My Bitch Up. Could do that, couldn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he could. I mean, he's no longer with us.
Me and NWA used to sing it in the street. Would terrorize and harmonize and sway upon our feet. Messing with us, we were just teenagers with golden paper. Me and NWA singing fuck the police. Oh yeah, you knew, turn it down, baby. Could do any of them, Max.
Yeah, could have done it with any song, you're right. But it works better with Heart of My Heart, I would say.
You can buy all of them songs, not on the box set, but from a charity shop easily.
So Max Bygraves was mates with Lionel Bart. And in 1959, Lionel Bart had some money troubles.
Mm.
And Max Bygraves went, well, let me help you out.
Lionel Bart, do you know how much money he wanted?
Yeah, 350 quid.
He wanted more.
Yeah. And so Max Bygraves gave him 350 quid in return for the future rights to the musical Oliver.
I thought we were going to not mention Oliver and just allude to Lionel Bart, but of course here it comes. What, Max Bygraves owns a lot of Oliver because he lent Lionel Bart.
He did. I tried to work out when he sold it. I don't know when he sold it, but when he sold the rights, he got $250,000 quid.
That's great research.
I hope he gave a bit to Lionel Bart after that. He'd opened for Judy Garland on Broadway for 5 months. Yeah. He appeared in 19 Royal Variety performances. And rumour has it that Alfred Hitchcock wanted him to star in the movie Frenzy, but he turned it down to do Cabaret in Manchester.
As the lead, the main movie?
Yeah, the main guy.
I would love to have seen Max Bygraves in Frenzy.
I want to tell you a story.
I want to kill Hoary. That was on Frenzy. All right, I learned some things in my thing when I Googled Max Bygraves, James. I thought I'd give it a go. I Googled Max Bygraves, see what's happening in the news. Yeah? There was nothing really, predictably. Yeah. However, there was a fairly recent article from the Torbay Gazette, because someone had wrote a book about Max Bygraves. He had some good facts about him. Some of them, let's say, he wasn't the best man he could have been to his wife, who was a bit of a rock star. But when he was 13, he used to drag the Thames for driftwood to try and sell, because he was a poor boy. He owned 53 Rolls Royces, possibly from the...
Not when he was a boy, when after the Oliver millions.
It's a lot of driftwood if you're getting 53 Rolls Royces, and they all had the number plate MB1 on them. And his son ran the theatre in Babbacombe. I mean, he's just Bygraves facts we're chucking in while we're here.
Number 7.
Down 2 to 7 this week. Someone Else's Roses by Joan Regan. Regain?
I don't think it's Regain.
It's just Joan Regan, that's how it's spelled. Let's not be stupid. Another country song. It's a simple melody, exquisitely sung by Joan.
And it's all about how she's been given roses that were intended for someone else.
I thought it was a great concept of song, yeah.
The kind of... Is it regifting? Well, no, regifting is when you give a gift that you've had to someone else. But this is a gift that you meant for someone else and you've given it to Joan Regan.
Yes. She is disappointed with the buyer of the roses because she hoped they were for her, but he's only given them to someone else with a note attached.
Yeah, we never find out what's in the note, but it can't be good.
I like it. I thought it's such a simple yet effective concept. You send me someone else's roses. The note you sent I wasn't meant to see. Why did they bring me someone else's roses? The kind of rose you always chose for me.
See, I blame the delivery company. It's an admin error. That's what's happened there.
I know, and the fella's right annoyed with them. Got me in right trouble. All right.
Bloody DPD.
It's a song with a key changing.
I think here's the thing. When we get these top tens foisted upon us by our random computer thing,
I see it more as God telling us where to go, but it could be technological.
I mean, it is a computer, but okay.
It's God.
And you see 50 songs and it's kind of, it's another sort of slow, lovey-dovey song. Yeah. Is it going to be, is it just going to blend into the background? Is it going to be generic? But they all have like an individual take on it. They're about something. So this is specifically being given someone else's roses. I know that sounds stupid because it's the title of the thing.
No, I agree with you. To some extent, when we've done other songs, especially I'm going to say more modern, you're not quite sure what they're talking about. They usually say, some aspect of I love you or I can't live without you and all this. But yeah. Conceptual writing, a country and western tradition, I'm going to say. More so than other music for I don't know what reasons. Email us in if you think I'm talking rot.
Song written by Milton Carson.
Well done, Milton.
The pseudonym, because no one uses their real name, of Howard Ellington Ridderford Barnes, who, in the 1930s, played inside left for Crystal Palace.
Nice.
Yeah. His football career was finally over in 1941 when, during an air raid, he lost a leg. That will end a football career, sadly.
What football player, James, of the current climate, do you think is most likely to be able to write a hit song?
Write a hit song that would be a hit now, or write a classic?
Since you've opened the
style.
concept up, both of them.
Who's got a poetic air to
All my football references are pretty old, so I would have said Graham Lasso, because he was once upon a time the cleverest footballer.
What, because he once read a newspaper?
He once read a newspaper. Enough to get him called the Professor.
Someone like Declan Rice, I think, could write a classic song.
Because what does he convey?
There appears to be slightly more to him than just the stereotypical footballer. I'm gonna say maybe Declan Rice.
Declan Rice, if you are listening, get on it.
Yeah.
We'll buy it. And join your Patreon.
What know you of Joan Regan?
Very little. In fact, nothing.
Yeah, I'd never heard of her until like a week ago. She was born in the East End. She was married to a US serviceman in the war, but that ended. And then after that, she recorded a demo in 1953, which got her signed to Decca Records. And this is her second of 5 UK top tens. Who was her rehearsal pianist?
Lionel Bart.
No. It's someone we've covered in a previous episode.
In the mid-50s, her rehearsal pianist.
Yeah, pianist from the 50s.
What's his name? Ross Conway?
It was Ross Conway, yes.
Who? I'm accruing the 500,000 pop points slowly but steadily.
She had her own BBC show in 1959 called Be My Guest.
So I learnt on YouTube, yeah.
And she was once knocked out by a theatre's safety curtain. Which, of all the things to be knocked out by, the thing with the word safety in the title.
I read this. She got knocked out by a descending safety curtain as she took her bow. And then I read that many years later, she banged her head in the shower and then caused her some sort of speech problems, which she got over. So, always banging her head, that girl, Joan Regan, whether it's on a curtain or a shower. I'm not making light of the shower, but she's all right now, or she was all right. She got through it.
Part of her treatment to recover her movement and speech after that involved miming to her old records. So they used that as kind of therapy. And after many months, she was able to sing again, and Russ Conway encouraged her to return to the UK and tour. She continued recording until 1996 and performing until 2013.
Well done, Joan. I mean, I get it. I'm a tall man. I bang my head all the time, so, I've got a sort of empathy for Joan Regan. I'm going to needlessly claim.
Look out for those safety curtains, Andy. In 1957, she married the box office manager of the Palladium, a guy called Harry Claff. Oh. And the Daily Herald reported that she had a baby in February 1958. Okay? Just 7 months after the marriage.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. And that led to...
As Royce C. said only last week, James, was there a shotgun wedding?
Well, no, there wasn't. The baby was actually born in April. So they sued the Daily Herald. Because as a result of basically them implying that she was pregnant when they got married, they received many abusive and wounding letters, and they successfully sued the paper.
Well done, Joan, and the manager of the Palladium.
But also, who cares? It was a different time, obviously.
No, people care about that now, so, I can believe in 1954 this caused some consternation.
Claff was sentenced to prison in 1963 for embezzling £62,000 from the Palladium box office. He said he'd only borrowed it. So they got divorced.
I once only borrowed a cheese sandwich, so I know what they're on about.
Do you know the song Don't Talk to Me About Love? Not the Altered Images version, the one that Joan Regan did in the 60s.
It rings a bell. It's a classic part of
It's a Northern Soul song.
Okay. No, I don't know it then.
Incredibly is her. So
okay. She had I think she acknowledged this herself. Or what? Did you watch the video? There's a video of her singing.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. There's not maybe this song, but there's videos of her singing. She had a girl next door vibe.
Yeah.
Saying she says herself she lent heavily into that.
Yeah. Did she give you the old Katrina Valente feelings or not?
I mean, I don't know. A little bit, I have to say. Again, that weird thing of me fancying ghosts was going on this week with K-Star and Joan. Kay and Joan, two of my mum's friends.
Number 6.
It's a non-mover at number 6. It's brackets, Oh Baby Mine, close brackets, I Get So Lonely by the Four Knights.
Yes, probably the most rock and roll-y sounding record in this week's top 10, if that's a thing for you.
I'm going to say one of two. I think there's another rock and roll-y sounding one coming up.
I think I know where you're going, and I agree with you. All right, well,
but yeah, this does sound like a glimpse of the future, doesn't it, all of a sudden? It's a one-hit wonder, but sells over 1 million copies worldwide. Written by Pat Ballard.
Pat Ballard?
Yeah.
I don't know him.
He wrote Mr. Sandman. Born Francis Drake Ballard. Apparently he stopped a game of bowls in order to write this song.
That's right.
And then defeated the Spanish Armada. You get the general idea.
Did he discover tobacco? Have I got the right fella?
That's Walter Raleigh.
Okay.
That's his brother, Walter Raleigh Ballard. This song also recorded by Bing Crosby, Johnny and Jack, and in 1983, the Statler Brothers.
Yeah, I saw in the YouTube comments a few people were giving a big shout out to the Statler Brothers. We like them, don't we?
Yep.
Well, we like one song they did at least.
The Four Knights are Gene Alford, Clarence Dixon, John Wallace, and Oscar Broadway. Now, I put it to you, if you call your child Oscar Broadway, they have got to go into show business, haven't they?
No other place.
It's like being called Tony Hollywood or Emmy West End. Of course Oscar Broadway went into show business. What else is he going to do?
Nikki Coates on YouTube says, I love how you can always tell who the bass singer is just from the picture. I thought, that's interesting, Nikki Coates. So I had to scroll up, looked at the picture, and then I thought, what are you going on about, Nikki? But
well, is there one who's more...
Go on, this is what I'm interested in.
Is the one who's bigger than the others? Because that's the stereotype, isn't it? That the bass singer's going to be the one who's a bit bigger.
That's what I thought, James. So I scrambled up to the top of the page. I thought it would be the big fella. None of them are particularly big. And I thought, I can't tell who the bass singer is. But I think the idea that you suspect the bass... Hey, I'm going to squeeze in him. I'll be watching Anthology, Beatles, James. Paul McCartney was on bass because he...
Paul from the Beatles?
Paul from the Beatles put on bass because no one else wanted to do it. George and John wouldn't, essentially. And then he says, I didn't want to be the fat bloke at the back playing bass. So even Paul McCartney's got some preconceptions to who holds the bottom end.
Well, I'll tell you who the bass singer is in The Four Knights. It's Oscar Broadway.
Well, of course.
Of course it is.
What else was he going to do?
No one's going to say, what's your plumber's name? Oscar Broadway. Oh, he's doing the wrong job.
I set out a quiz, James, didn't I? As I do every week on our social media, on our Instagram and our Facebook, and on our email mailing list. Have we got an email mailing list?
Sort of.
Okay.
We're at Shooby Podcast on Instagram. We are Shooby Dooby Doo up on Facebook. And you can join our mailing list thing by becoming a free member of our Patreon at patreon.com/Shooby Podcast.
And you also get the chance to win 1 million pop points.
What question did you ask?
I asked the question, what do the Four Knights get?
Okay.
I thought the clue was very obvious from the track we attached. As you know, James, we have a lot of celebrity listeners, don't we? Steve Marriott and his wife Harriet thinks the Four Knights should get themselves together. Michael Fish believes it's the Four Knights' wish to get themselves under the weather. Bill Oddie, who's a right busybody, is banging on about birds and say they should get spotted, whilst Uri Geller, who's an unusual fella, is saying the Four Knights should get knotted. Andrew Tate is banging on all irate about how he reckons the Four Knights should not get a wife. Tony Robbins is spouting absolute bobbins and can't help himself but speculate they should get a life. Arnie Schwarzenegger has got himself together to say they should get brainy and not so brawny, while Moose T is screaming, why can't we all see that the Four Knights have misplaced a phone, obviously dealing with a slow postal service, and had all the messages on the internet rejected, so maybe the Four Knights are getting horny? Horny. Who should we give that to for that 1 million pop points? I thought they were all miles off.
Moose T.
Moose T got closest, didn't he? Got lonely. All right. Thanks, Moose T, for playing.
So it's a song all about being lonely because his baby's away. Or their babies are away. And it's quite an upbeat song, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of, it's a little bit jaunty, but I'm really lonely.
I'm really lonely, but you cannot tell from the spirit of the music. I get so lonely and maybe horny, like Moose T said.
Stop bringing Moose T into it.
Do you know, James, I'm going to take you out afterwards to a fancy tea room. Do you know what we're going to have?
What?
A Moose Tea.
So the Oh Baby Mine is in brackets, and we've spoken before of bracketed song titles.
I I like the fact you've held on so long to discuss the bracket work. Okay.
Well, it's supposed to be that the thing in brackets is the thing that people think the song is called, so that's what they ask for when they actually the song is called something else. But in this case, it's almost like the "Oh Baby Mine" being in brackets is because that's the bit that Oscar Broadway, the bass singer, sings. Oh baby mine,
so lonely, you know how lonely. But you're gone.
That was my point.
It's a good point. Well made.
So there you have it. That's the songs 10 through 6 of this top 10 of the 21st of June 1954.
They were all great, weren't they? They were all great, weren't they? I've been digging them. What are we going to talk about in part 2, do you think?
We'll do songs 5 through 1.
That would seem to make sense after what's just happened.
Including a song of reconciliation, a TV theme tune, and the world's first gay anthem. Here's what you can expect in part 2.
Maybe, James, there's 2 German fellas stuck in a shed as we speak, talking about the Ipswich Choir.
It is a sexy song. In fact, it was banned by the BBC for being too sexy.
Your squares, BBC.
Does that mean I have to stop doing this?
Yeah. There's a lot riding on this quiz this week.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
That sounds great and funny and interesting, though neither of us have said any of those things yet. I can't wait for that.
Remember, you can listen to the songs on the Spotify and YouTube playlist, links in the description.
Please listen to the songs. We always like to give you an extra nudge towards them because they, it's a mid-50s vibe and, be over quick. And, hey, a little bit of music in your life can never be bad.
It'll be over quick. It's such a great selling point for anything.
I have used it in my sex life many, many times.
If you are enjoying this stuff, please leave us a rate and review wherever you get your podcasts from.
Please rate and review. It'll do us a big favour in the world of algorithm and blues. We'd appreciate it.
And, tell everyone you've ever met about this podcast. That would be appreciated too. And until next time, Shooby Dooby Doo-Wop.
If you tell anyone you ever met, that means you'll have to go back in the past quite a bit and do an extra bit of work. But bop, bop, shoe up.